while I've been over here, I've been one of the first members to join the Alumni Council of London, and that has really helped because I'm now meeting people who are partners of KPMG and global strategic partners of JP Morgan, amongst others. And I think that these people have a completely different perspective to what I have. They have a completely different set and better built network than I have in London, and they also then can connect me back with home. I think the value of my international experience really comes back down to understanding different perspectives of where people come from. So I think the value of my international experience comes back from perspective. So think about an iceberg. You can see 10% on the top, and that's what you can see. This is what you hear. This is what people are saying. But you've got another 90% of what people don't say, and that's all made up of where they've grown up, what their belief system is, how they've interacted with their family, whether or not they still have both parents, whether or not the parents are divorced. There are so many different ways that people have developed over time, and by going overseas and meeting a hell of a lot of different people, you're able to see, you're able to have a better appreciation from where that person has come from. And so therefore, you can then interact with them with that in mind, which then makes you more empathetic at the end of the day. I think I've maximised the time that I've been in London by understanding why I'm over here in the first place. If you want to go overseas for a jolly and go around do Kentucky tours through Europe, then definitely go and do that. But don't expect that to have perhaps as much impact to maybe the next stage in the next job that you're applying to, or even the next pitch that you might be wanting to win as a self-employed graphic designer. I don't know, it depends on your skill set. For me, it's been a lot around how I'm able to develop myself, particularly in the mobile marketing space. That's why I focused on getting a job with someone who wanted to focus in that area. Now I've developed and launched 2 different mobile apps. One of them have been mentioned in BuzzFeed twice. So and then the next one we've now, we're in 50 sites across the UK, and we'll be in, we've just secured 2 contracts to go into another 130. So I think that the time that you have always needs to link back with what your personal goal is and what you want to achieve in life.
What I think though, in terms of how to professionally develop and how to grow as a person, it's important to be challenged. And working, living globally gives you that challenge every second of the day. Because every second of the day has the potential to bring you into a situation that you're not really comfortable with. Where does my Australianness end? And where does my foreign environment begin? And how much am I willing to step into that foreign environment and change, and how much am I willing to let it affect me? And just that concept of adjusting that line and that zone has brought me so much strength, inner strength, and opportunity as well, because you really are invited to look more deeply about who you are and what you want.
So I've been in London for the last 6 months in terms of living here. Prior to that, I travelled back and forth quite a bit. For me, it's always been about just getting as much exposure to all aspects of the business cycle over here. It would have been very easy for me, because I'm only here for sort of 18 months or so, to not get too involved with sort of other professional bodies and industry associations, not do anything outside of what I'm 100% required to do within my role. So for me, it was about making sure that the same professional development and career development practices that I would do if I was in Australia, I continue to do here. And I make the effort to make connections. I make the effort to go to networking functions. I make the effort to be involved with those industry bodies. Even if it's not necessarily going to have a 5-10 year window attached to it, it is about still putting that same, discipline towards it, so that you do have some extra skills and connections to take back when you go. And as I've learnt from my first part-time job, you never know when that connection is going to turn into something bigger. So I think you've got to be willing to make the most of it.